I had a chance to chat with Khalil Evans not that long ago, and he turned me on to this whole idea of being able to make money with my car. Because I'm like, Khalil, here's the deal. I've got this new car. I'm dealing with like a payment. It's like a hassle. I don't want to have to deal with this anymore. What options do I have? And he's like, well, have you tried ride sharing? Being able to make money with my car. I got a job and all, but it's like, you know, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of extra money that comes in that basically pays for the car. I know that Khalil's really big into it, and it's one of those things where I'm not the kind of guy to go around asking people, hey man, how do you make money? It's kind of one of those weird conversations you don't really want to have with someone. I was just so incredibly curious, and I said, Khalil, like, can we just do this thing where we can get on Skype together and we can talk about how you're able to make money with ride sharing? Because to me, it just seemed like insane that here's a guy who does this part-time. Now, he's a hustler. I mean, Khalil himself will tell you this. You know, some weeks, you know, he decides, hey man, I want to go all in. He'll do maybe 30 plus hours of ride sharing, but it's easy. I mean, who wouldn't want to be out on a beautiful day, enjoying the beautiful sunshine, you know, picking up really cool and awesome people, helping them get to where they want to go, right? When you get a car, the thing is, it usually ends up costing you money. Usually you don't find yourself in a situation where the car makes you money, right? You get a vehicle, you get an SUV, a car, an SUV, whatever it is that you're getting, usually that vehicle is going to end up costing you money. It's not going to make you any money. So the conversation I had with Khalil was amazing, and I went so far as to say, Khalil, we got to share this with everyone. This is a message that I believe is so important. It really has to go out there to as many people as possible. Man, we got to get this out there. We got to like share the gospel of ride sharing with the world. Things, if you're the kind of person who basically wants a way to make some extra money, you can do that with ride sharing. And the best thing is, you don't need to necessarily have a brand new vehicle. Best of all, you set your own hours. You don't got to deal with a boss. I mean, there's ultimate flexibility and freedom when it comes to doing this kind of work. You're an independent contractor. You get a 1099 at the end of the year. You've got maximum free time, really. I mean, it's kind of like you get to choose when you want to work. You get to decide what your hours are going to be. I mean, there are no real restrictions to any of this, which is fantastic. What I want you to do is check out this really short presentation that I put together. I put it together really not even thinking that anything would come of it, but I showed it to some of my friends who are also in the ride-sharing industry, and they said, hey man, this is awesome.
This is the weird true story of how a 46-year-old road warrior named Khalil Evans banked $42,728.58 in 1 year with a cell phone, a couple apps, and a 2014 Chevy Cruze, working only part-time. Now, it's kind of crazy to believe that anyone could bank $42,728.58 working part-time for companies like Uber and Lyft, but it's 100% true. And Khalil showed me the evidence that proved he got paid $42,728.58. Let's have a look. Now, what we're looking at right now are Khalil's 2016 Form 1099-K, which are issued by both Lyft, that you'll see in the upper left-hand side of the screen there, in the amount of $7,121.13, and then down below, Uber, which goes by the business trade name of Razor LLC, at least for tax purposes. You know, Uber and Lyft have a lot of complex corporate strategies that they use to minimize taxes and to enhance profitability for themselves as companies. So in Uber's case, they go by the name Razor LLC, at least for the purposes of paying Khalil. And as you can see here, they paid him $35,607.45. So when you add the $7,121.13 that Lyft paid Khalil, and you add that to the $35,607.45 that Uber paid Khalil, that adds up to an amazing $42,728.58. Hard truth number one. You need to be at least 21 years of age, have a newer ride, and pass a background check. So let me explain what I mean by this. Now, when it comes to most companies in the ride-sharing industry, and that's Uber, that's Lyft, and that's other companies as well, you need to be at least 21 years of age. So if you're 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, you probably won't qualify to participate in any of these programs. Now, you also have to have what really amounts to a newer vehicle. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be, a 1-year-old vehicle. No, but what they're really trying to get at here is that if you got an old 1990s, some old beater that you're still, riding around, that's not going to cut it. It's got to be a relatively newer vehicle. As a rule of thumb, if it's at least, say, 7 to 10 years old, you're probably okay. Anything beyond 7 to 10 years, probably not okay. Finally, you need to be able to pass a background check. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to be an angel, okay? There are no angels out there, but you need to be able to at least pass a background check. Now, hard truth number two. Making a couple $100 here and there is easy, but making thousands requires real hustle and meaningful effort. Now, here's what I mean. Making a couple $100 here and there is easy, assuming you know what you're doing. When you're just getting started in the ride-sharing industry, you're not going to really know what you're doing. And so it's going to take time and effort to really understand what the market's like, how you're supposed to interact with customers, how you can position yourself to best take advantage of what they oftentimes refer to as peak riding times, where you're going to not only get more action, get more customers, but also make more money. There's a whole lot of things that you need to understand before you really start figuring out, right, how to make the easy money. Now, that being said, yes, once you kind of understand how it works, making a couple $100 here and there is easy, but making thousands of dollars, it really does require hustle and meaningful effort. Now, this brings us to hard truth number three, okay? And here it is. This is the reality. To really hit the road and make a bunch of money quickly, you need to have a mentor. Someone who has been in the ride-sharing industry for years and who can show you how it's done. Here's what I'm talking about. You get started. Imagine if you already know all the insider secrets. What if you already know a lot of the knowledge, or you just have all the knowledge that somebody would already have if they'd been driving in the ride-sharing industry for 2, 3, 4, 5 years? What kind of difference do you think that would make in terms of your ability to make money? Well, I'll tell you right now, it would make all the difference in the world. So here's what's really cool. I got a 1-hour uncensored interview with Khalil, where I get him to spill the beans on what it's like to be a driver in the ride-sharing industry and how he banks so much cash part-time. It's really unbelievable, but it's 100% true. Now, when I say this is an uncensored interview, I really mean it. I mean, we get into a lot of detail. We talk about how Khalil first found out about the ride-sharing industry, how he got started, what it's like to interact with potential customers, right? In terms of when you get a hit on the app and you're saying to yourself, all right, is this a hit that I want to accept or not? Hey, we go into so much detail that Khalil himself even acknowledged that if he had the knowledge and experience and information that he basically reveals in this interview, he would have made so much more money, so much faster, so much just easier, really, had he had all this knowledge and all this information when he first got started in this industry, right? And so what I want you to do next is I want you to pick up a copy of Ride Sharing Profit Hacks. That's what we're calling this interview. You're not only going to get an MP3 so you can listen to the audio, but you're also going to get a transcript. All I want you to do is click on the button you see below this video. It's going to be a button that you can click on. You're going to see a link there. Click on that button, click on that link, and pick up your copy of Ride Sharing Profit Hacks today. You're going to be glad you did.